Hi, in this video we're going to look at how to play a very common ragtime chord progression on the guitar. Now the tablature for this is available via a link in the video description, totally free of charge, because that's how much I care about you. Now ragtime is a musical style that became popular in the late 19th century, early 20th century. It was a piano piano style, and its defining characteristic was its syncopated or ragged rhythm, hence ragtime. A syncopation just means that the melodic accents actually fall between the metrical beats of the music. Now the most famous name associated with ragtime was, I guess, Scott Joplin, whose pieces were technically quite complex and fairly difficult to play, but the basic style was imitated and taken up by a lot of guitar players and kind of incorporated into the blues. Now the basic chord progression we have here is this 8 bars as follows in the key of C. So we start on C and we go C, E7, A7 for 2 bars, D7, G7, C, G7 to turn it round again. So we're in the key of C, but after the initial C chord we jump up to E7, which is not a chord found in that key, and every chord we play then is the dominant fifth of the next chord, so the chord that leads most naturally to the next one. So if you don't quite get that, you can also think of it as the roots of the chord rising in fourths. So E goes up 4 steps to A, so E, F, G, A. So we go from E to A goes up 4 steps to D, and D goes up 4 steps to G, and then we're back to C, 4 steps up from G. The strings of the guitar in standard tuning are also tuned in fourths, as it happens. So we're following the roots of the chords are following the open strings. So we have E, A, D, G, and then C. The third and the second string are not tuned in fourths, but if they were, they would go G, C. So we're sort of cycling round from C back to C as if we're temporarily moving through different keys. And whenever you play a 7th chord, it sounds unstable. It sounds as if it wants to move somewhere else. So that's the basic progression, and you can just strum it. It's not really ragtime if you just strum it. So to get that ragtime feel, you need the alternating thumb. This is piano music, remember, and your thumb is like the piano player's left hand. If you find moving the thumb independently difficult, which it is at first, you can check out my other video on perfecting that technique, or one of the other 5 million videos on YouTube explaining how to do that. So we're going to cycle round the 8 bars twice. On the second go we're going to change the chord voicings and the rhythm a little. We don't want to do the same thing each time. The melody we're playing in the first 8 bars is basically and we're just sort of playing chords around that melody. So to play it through it slowly, it goes So we move up from the C to the E7 chord here in this voicing, like a D7 shape moved up, with the first finger in the second fret. From there we go to what I call this long A, which is a bar across the second fret, little finger up on the 5th fret. And then into this D7, which we can find here, the C7 shape that you might be familiar with up here, moved up to the 3rd fret. And then a G, which is a bar at the 3rd fret, with the second finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret. And then we go. Now this is a G diminished. First finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret. Second finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Third finger on the 2nd string, 4th fret, and the second finger here on the 4th string. So it's got that D sharp in it, which makes it the G diminished, and it really pulls back to the C. So we've cycled round the whole sequence there. When we on the C, we need a turnaround to go back into it. So we have C, C7, F, F minor, and then that walk in on the bottom 6th string to the G7. Then we're back into the next 8 bars. C, that's a little finger, reaches up to that flattened 3rd in the C chord, that E flat. Then we just take that shape all the way up to the 5th fret, and we move the first finger down into the 4th fret, 2nd string, to get the melody note. Then we stay where we are at the 5th fret for that A chord, barred, your first finger bar in the top 2 strings, and then for A7 we move that shape we had for E7, but now we're up at the 7th fret here, and then we move up to the D, which is the same as that shape we had at the 5th fret for A, but moved up to the 10th fret, with the little finger coming down on the 12th fret top string for the melody. And then for the G, this time we're going to take the C chord shape, starting it on the 8th fret, and where it's a G chord. Put the little finger down on the 3rd string to make it a G7, and then that resolves to the C. So this is like a version of that bar chord shape, that F bar chord shape, but up here at the 8th fret. And this time the turnaround is this. So we got the 2nd finger on the 6th string, 12th fret, the 1st finger on the 2nd string, the 11th fret, and the 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 12th fret, and we just play those strings, walking down back to the C shape there. Okay, if it's tricky to get it, follow the tab, play it slowly but rhythmically. As always, persevere with it, and if you once you've got the basic thing, experiment and improvise around it. Work out other voicings of the chords, other melodic ideas you can work around, and so on. Try and play it in different keys. So if you start it in G, it would the same step pattern, but leap up to B7, E, A, D7, G. So try it in different keys, get to know the fretboard and so on, and have fun.